step is to make the chena for the kalakand. For this I have taken 500 ml of milk. This is full cream milk. Bring the milk to a boil. So once the milk comes to a boil, reduce the flame. Squeeze the juice of 1 lemon. So this will curdle the milk and form the chena. Boil it for a few minutes. Turn off the stove. So you can see you have this lovely chena here. Milk has curdled. Strain it. Just pour some fresh water to remove the lemony flavor or the sour taste. The next step is to make the khoya or the koa, that is the milk fudge. For this, to a pan, take 1 liter of full cream milk. Bring it to a boil. So make sure you keep stirring the milk so that it doesn't stick to the bottom or get burnt. Maintain the flame on a medium high and keep stirring it till it reduces considerably. So you can see the milk is gradually reducing. It's becoming nice and thick and all the cream is forming here. Make sure you scrape off all the cream that's sticking to the pan on the sides. So you can see the milk has reduced beautifully. It's become nice, thick and creamy. Now before the khoya thickens and becomes very dry, I'm going to add the chena. So once the excess moisture is evaporated, I'm going to add about half cup of ghee. Reduce the flame to a medium and keep mixing. After adding the ghee and mixing it for about 5 minutes, add 1 cup of sugar. Now this is a 250 ml cup. To this I'm going to add a few strands of saffron, some cardamom powder. Continue to keep mixing. So if you want to remove it at this point, you can remove it and set it in a tray. I like the sugar to be a little more caramelized. I'd like a lovely golden brown color. So I'm just going to leave it on for a few more minutes. So now the kalakand mixture is done. I'm going to transfer it into a small tray and set it. Grease the tin with a little ghee on all sides. So you can see it's got a lovely caramel color. So this is what I wanted. Transfer it to a tin while the mixture is still hot. You don't want it to cool it down completely. So gently press it into the tin. You need the kalakand mixture to set in the tin. Just take like 1/4 teaspoon of ghee and spread it over on top and just even it out on all sides. Trust me, it's going to absorb all the ghee, and once it cools down completely, you will wonder where all the ghee disappeared. Now I have some mixed nuts, pistachios, almonds and some melon seeds. You can add cashew nuts, walnuts, whatever you please. Just gently press it in so it all sets inside. Let it rest for about 1 to 2 hours till it sets perfectly. Then you can mark it and cut it into pieces. For the Anguri Jamun, I'm going to first prepare the sugar syrup. For this I've taken 2 cups of water. To this add 1.5 cups of sugar and add a few cardamom pods. Let the sugar dissolve and let it boil for about 5 minutes. Turn off the stove and keep the syrup aside. For this I've taken 200 grams of unsweetened khoya. Add 3 tablespoons of maida or all-purpose flour. I'm adding 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, few saffron strands. To this add 2 tablespoons of milk. Combine it well and knead it till you get a nice soft dough. If the dough seems too sticky, dust it with a little flour so that you get a nice smooth dough. Take a little bit of the dough and start rolling it out into small jamuns. After rolling, just check to see if the jamun balls are nice and smooth. Make sure there are no cracks or wrinkles. Take a kadai, add enough oil. Once the oil is heated, keep the flame on low. Gently drop the jamun balls into the hot oil. Make sure you constantly roll it so it's cooked evenly on all sides. Deep fry it till you get a lovely golden brown color. Remove the cooked jamuns and drop them into the hot sugar syrup. Make sure you soak the jamuns in the sugar syrup for a minimum of 1 hour. Next I'm going to make the rabri. I've taken 1 liter of full fat milk. Pour it into a nice white saucepan. Reduce the milk to half and make sure you constantly stir it so it doesn't stick to the pan. The milk is reduced into half, you can see there's a lot of cream that's formed. Now I'm going to add 1/4 cup of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon cardamom powder, a pinch of saffron. Mix it all together and continue boiling. After 5 minutes, you can see the rabris become nice and thick. Turn off the stove and keep it aside. To serve the jamuns, pour a little bit of the rabri into the serving cup. Place the jamuns. Garnish it with some sliced pistachios and serve it immediately. Carrot halwa, take a nice wide saucepan or a kadai. To this I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of ghee. So for this recipe I've taken half kilo of carrots. They have been grated, so I'm just going to measure it in cups now to see how many cups. 2, 3, 4. So I'm using 4 cups of grated carrots. Now this is half kilo. The carrots are cooking beautifully. I'm getting a lovely aroma. And every time you're making gajar ka halwa, that is a carrot halwa, make sure the carrots are nice and fresh. Cook for about 10 minutes on medium flame. Keep mixing it because you don't want to burn the carrots. So once the carrots are half cooked, I'm going to add the milk. Now I'm going to pour 1.5 cups of boiled and cooled milk. Cook till the milk is evaporated completely. So if you see, the milk is completely evaporated. To this I'm going to add 3/4 cup of sugar. Now you can adjust the sweetness according to your taste. So you can see after adding the sugar, the color of the carrots have also changed. It's become a little darker and it's released a little moisture as well. So you need to get all that moisture out. So continue cooking till all the excess moisture is evaporated. So at this point you have to keep stirring it continuously. Now I'm doing this on a high flame. When the moisture is almost evaporated, I'm going to add half teaspoon of cardamom powder, a few strands of saffron. This is optional, so if you want you can add. Give it a quick mix. So if you see the moisture is completely evaporated now is a good time to add the ghee. Now I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of ghee. You can adjust the ghee according to the quantity of carrots you're using. So some of you may not like it too rich, so then you can cut down on the ghee a bit. But if you do like it nice and rich, the more the ghee, the better. Carrot halwa is coming together beautifully. So finally, I'm going to finish it off by adding some chopped nuts. Add some pistachios, some cashew nuts, some sliced almonds. Turn off the stove. Gajar ka halwa, the carrot halwa is ready to be served. Chocolate stuffed pedas, I'm just chopping a few pieces of chocolate. Now this is cooking chocolate. You can also use regular milk chocolate. So I'm just chopping a small piece, more like a bite size. So when you stuff it in, it will be perfect. Keep this aside. For the doodh peda, take a nice white pan. To this I'm going to add half cup of full fat milk. I'm using 125 grams of freshly homemade khoya. This is unsweetened khoya or mawa. Now I've already made a video on how to make homemade khoya. I'll give the link in the description box, so you can check out that link and you can watch the recipe and you can make your own homemade khoya to make any of these sweets. Keep the flame on low throughout. You don't want to burn the milk and the khoya. After about 2 minutes, add half cup of milk powder. So if you don't want to use milk powder, another option for that is you can add extra khoya or mawa, that is about 200 to 250 grams, and you can also use condensed milk instead of milk powder. I'm increasing the flame to a medium just to thicken the mixture. You need to consistently keep stirring it, have to keep mixing it, you don't want it to get burnt. I would recommend a non-stick pan for this. You can see the mixture is thickening beautifully. At this point, I'm just going to add some sugar. I'm adding about 3 tablespoons of sugar. You can adjust the sugar according to your taste. Next, I'm adding a few drops of rose essence. Now, if you don't have rose essence, you can use cardamom powder. You can see the mixture is coming together so beautifully. Next, add 1 tablespoon of ghee. So after adding the ghee, continue to cook for a few minutes on low flame till all the ghee is absorbed. So you can see the doodh peda mixtures come together so beautifully. All the excess moisture is evaporated with this lovely, beautiful, thick and rich consistency. You can see the doodh peda mixture is done. It's got a nice thick mass consistency. So when you roll it into pedas, they should be able to bind well. Keep this aside. Now I'm going to start making the pedas. So take a little bit of the peda mixture, just roll it in your palm. Now you can just dab a little bit of ghee on your palms so that it doesn't stick, or if you want to get it nice and smooth, just flatten it, gently press it in the center. So the mixture is still warm. I'm taking a small piece of the chocolate. So when you place the piece of chocolate, when the peda mixture is still a little hot or warm, so the chocolate will melt, and when you bite into it, it will be really nice and gooey.